a professor in a college, he asked his students, he poured a bunch of rocks in a jar. He poured a bunch of rocks in a jar to fill up the jar. When he filled up the jar, I need more rocks, but not worry about it right now. I need enough rocks to fill up the jar. We got more rocks? Give me some more rocks, quickly. Quick. He had the rocks to fill up a jar, a container. And he brought his students to the forefront and he asked them about the container. He said, look at this container. He said, you see all these rocks? He said, here you have. Do you have any room? Where's my bucket? Do you have any room to put anything else inside this container? All the students looked at the container and they said, no, the container is full. He said, okay. He said, do you think this gravel can fit inside this container? They said, no, because the container is already full. He said, okay. So he pours in the gravel. The gravel is inside the container. He said, all right, I got some sand. Can we get some sand inside this container? Said, nope, because the container is already full. He said, well, I thought the container was already full. He said, you thought wrong, because I still found way to contain more. But I thought I was at capacity. But I thought I couldn't handle no more. But I thought it was full to the limit. And yet it's still, you keep pouring stuff in there. He said, all right. He said, I got a bucket of water. Can water go in there? He said, no, because it's already full. He said, So what happens? How in the world, if it's already full, can you still pour all the water in the container? He said, the reason why is because I put the rocks in first. Because when you put the rocks in first, it creates a foundation for everything else. But if you try to put the sand in first, the rocks wouldn't have been able to fit. If you put the gravel in first, the gravel wouldn't have been able to fit. If you put the water in first, the water wouldn't have been able to sit. But because you put Christ, the solid rock, at the foundation, it gives you room for more. Proper priorities let you stretch your boundaries without ever changing the dimensions of your capacity. I had it in me all the time. I just had to shift some stuff around so I could create some priorities, so I can open myself up for more. I just came to ask about 500 people in this room that thought you were stretched to the limit last year. But the reality was you just had the wrong stuff in the wrong place. But you're gonna move some stuff around this year. I dare you to open up your mouth and release a sound in this building that let God know that there's room for all things and there's an anointing for grace. Somebody